Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to another one of our Seniors Edition at-home workouts. For today's session, we're going to focus a little bit more on our shoulder mobility and strength and upper body strength. And on the next exercise video, we're going to have a lot more work for your lower body. So I'm going to separate them this week. What you'll need for today's workout are a stick. I'm using a broomstick. Could be any broomstick. Actually, if you look at the current research, you'll see that the more expensive the broomstick that you can purchase, the better the effects. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. I'll have to look for it so I can send it out to you. But yeah, try to grab the most expensive stick you could possibly grab. You also will need a rubber band, any rubber band, whatever works best for you, and a couple of small balls. They can be a little bigger than this or a little smaller than this. These are about tennis ball size. These are foam. They can be tennis balls or lacrosse balls, really whatever you have at home with you. Without further ado, let's get started. I'd like for you to start by just doing some warm-up exercises for your arms. So I'd like for you to reach as far out to the sides with both arms as you can. And by that I mean I raise my hands up to about shoulder height, if I can get them that high, if you can. And then I want you to reach actively to your left at the same time as you reach actively to your right. So you're stretching the hands as far apart as possible. Then I'd like for you to turn the palms forward. I'd like for you to keep stretching your arms out as you pull the hands as far back as you can. And then do one more thing for me. Your shoulders may have started to hunch up at this point. Pull the shoulders down. Keep them firmly down. You'll probably feel you get better stretch this way. And then look up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to draw the hands together. It's a slow exhale. Squeeze them together and then stretch the shoulders forwards. It's okay if you let your posture go a little bit here for the sake of getting those hands a little further forward. And then pull the shoulders back again. Open up your wingspan. Stretch those hands out as far apart as possible and as far back as you can. Take a deep breath in. And then as you slowly and continually exhale, I want you to put those palms together and reach straight ahead. We're going to go ahead and do that one more time. Tall posture, pull the shoulders down and back, reach out to the sides, stretch out your chest, breathe in, and then exhale slowly and stretch those arms ahead. Good, do not let your arms drop at this point. I'm going to show you the side view here. I want you to keep the shoulders pressed down the whole time. We're going to pull the shoulders back and then we're going to stretch the shoulders apart. We're going to pull the shoulders back and together and then we're going to stretch them apart. Pull them back one more time and stretch them apart. Good, we'll do that 5 times in a row. For 5 at a quicker pace. 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't let those arms drop now. I want you to put your arms out to the side again. Once again, let's all let our shoulders hunch up and then pull them down to reaffirm that strong position. If you can see my thumbs right now, they're pointing up to the ceiling. I'm going to turn my whole arm, elbow, shoulder forwards so that the thumbs face the front of the room, and if you can, make those thumbs point to the floor. And then pull, or actually rotate the arms backwards so that the thumbs face the ceiling and then the back of the room. And hey, if you can, make them face the floor again. Let's rotate them all the way forward in one smooth movement and all the way backward in one smooth movement. Everyone's range of motion will be a little bit different. The point is to accomplish as great a range of motion given your abilities as possible. If you do this kind of movement frequently, you will get a better range of motion. You'll become more flexible in these joints. Let's do that 5 times in a row. A little faster now for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can relax those shoulders, and I'm certain that you're feeling that by now. If you can just turn your head to the left, take a deep breath in. Good. Tilt your head to the right, take a deep breath in. Tilt your head to the left. Take a deep breath in. And one more time, tilt your head to the right. Take a deep breath in. Good. Put your head in a neutral position. Look as far as you can to the left. Look as far as you can to the right. Look as far as you can to the left. Look as far as you can to the right. And I think we are warm enough now in our neck and shoulders to get started. If you could grab your expensive, high-end, high-tech broomstick, or any stick for that matter that you can find that's solid and doesn't flex, we're going to use this first. I'd like it if you could hold this about shoulder width apart. Your hands could be a little wider than shoulder width, depending on your own comfort level. What I'm going to do is draw that down to my hips, and then I'm going to raise the arms as high up as I can. Now some of you might only be able to go as high as your shoulder, and that's okay. If you're doing exercises like this frequently, eventually your range of motion will improve. And the point is to see improvement, not to be impressive. So we're going to raise those arms up as high as we can. Some of you might want to stop here. Some of you might have to stop here. Some of you may be able to go all the way up. We're going to take a deep breath in for the duration of the rise, and then we're going to breathe out continuously while we drop the arms. So we'll do that 5 times in a row. For 5, deeply breathing in and dropping the arms down. I'm going to show different ranges of motion just to represent different ability types. So we'll raise up again for a deep breath in, number 2, and breathe out. Continuously breathing out. Breathe in deeply for number 3, and breathe out. Breathe deeply in for number 4, and deep breath out, and then we'll do one more. Deeply breathe in for number 5, and then breathe out. Let's keep that stick at hip level. I want you to raise your arms out to the side as high up as you can. Again, some of you might only be able to raise your arm up this far or this high. Some of you might be able to go further. Find what range of motion is workable for you. Let's do 5 out to the left and to the right. So 1, and then we're going to continue to swing that all the way over to the right. 2. What I'm trying to do is keep my shoulders nice and stable. I am allowing a certain amount of mobility on the side that is raising up. So for instance, when I raise the arm up to the left, it's the left shoulder, I'll let that raise up a little bit, but I'm trying not to let it hunch up towards my ear. So when I say I'm keeping my muscles firm, I mean I'm still actively pulling the shoulder down, but in this instance, it's okay if it raises a little bit. So this is 3. Good, this is 4. And this is 5. Wonderful. Now take that stick. We're going to do one more exercise with it, or 2 more. We're going to hold it behind our backs. And I'd like it again if you could separate your hands so that your hands are wider than shoulder width at least. Any wider is a matter of personal preference for you. I would like for you to now raise those arms as high up and behind the body as you can. The closer your hands are together, the easier it's going to be for you. The wider you bring them together, you set them, the harder it's going to be. Although in some cases that might be the opposite of what I just said, some unique cases. So find a position for your hands that feels good for you. I'm going to have us all start ideally with our hands a little closer together. We're going to raise them up as high as possible. We'll do this for a count of 10 in multiples of 4, starting at 0. And do yourselves a favor here. 4. Try not to let your posture go or your chin tuck in. 8. Try to hold nice posture, chin up. 12. 16, 20, and notice how I pause at the top. 24, I don't just raise it and drop the arm right away. 28, 32, 36, 40. Good. We're going to count back from 40, but this time we're all going to change the position of our hands. So if you started with your hands a little wider, try to bring them more narrow. If you started with them narrow, try to bring them a little wider. We'll count back from 40, pause at the top just for a moment. 36, and as I said with the other exercises, 32, that 28, your range of motion might not be so great. 24, it might be here. That might be your maximum. 20, just do what your body is capable of. 16, and don't overdo it. 12, your success will come from consistency. 8, not from intensity. 4, and one more, 0. Now I said we had 2 more. We're going to keep our hands in place. You're going to watch from this angle. I'm going to stretch my arms as far out to the left as I can, and then I'm going to stretch my arms out as far to the right as I can. Let's all adopt a wider stance with the hands, and then if that doesn't work for some of you, you can revert to a narrower position, but I prefer if we all start or attempt to start with our hands wide set. We'll do this in a multiple of 3, starting from 0. Go as high up to the right and left as you can. What multiple did we say was? I think we said 3, that's right. 0, I'm just testing you all. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. Good. You can let go of that stick now. That is all we will need the stick for. Make sure to put it away in a safe place. I know you probably spent a lot of money on that stick, so don't let it get damaged. What we'll go ahead and utilize now is a rubber band. We'll finish up with our seated exercises, but I do have 2 more exercises that I'd like for you to do standing up. Both of them involve this rubber band. So go ahead and grab that, and grab a chair as well. You're going to want to use that chair for balance. What I'm going to do is drape one end of the band onto the floor so that I can step on one end with my free foot. And then I'm going to grab the top end, or some part of the loose end of the band, with my left hand. So I'm standing on the one end of the band with my left foot, and I'm holding the other end of the band with my left hand. And then what I'd like to do is lean forward. So I'm going to use the chair as my support. I'm going to position my hand on the cushion, the seat support itself. If this is too low for some of you, then all you need to do is hold the top of the back end of the chair, the back support, and lean forward onto it. You could put your elbow onto it, as long as you're feeling secure, and as long as you have at least a slight fold forward. Okay, you could do it from this angle or this angle or this angle. You just have to have some slight lean forwards. It doesn't need to be great. And then with my free foot, I just place it wherever I need to be comfortable. So I would like for you all to raise your shoulder up, pull your shoulder back, draw your shoulder down, so we're in a set position. My elbow is slightly flexed. That means that the elbow itself is not completely locked out. I'm allowing a little bit of a bend, but not much of a bend. Here's your exercise. We're going to pull the whole arm back from the shoulder as far as we can, and then we're going to let it relax. Now, some of you might only be able to draw the hand to the hip, and that's okay. You're still going to get benefit from it. Some of you might be able to draw beyond the line of the hip. I want you to give me the best range of motion you have, keeping the shoulder down. Let's start, and you know what? Let's count a phone number this time. We'll recite it. The phone number is going to be 613-867-5309. So all together. 6. A little pause at the top. Don't rush this exercise. 1, 3. Try to count the number ahead of me. 8. So you're not relying on me. 6. I want you to have to use your memory. 7. 5. 3. 9. Perfect. Now, I would like for you to do the same thing with the other side. So just reposition yourself against the chair, switch the band over to your opposite foot. So in this case, it's our right foot and right hand. Grip the chair or lean up against it, and we'll start again. And by the way, if you're not using a chair, or if you feel the chair is cumbersome, then you can use a counter as well and just lean onto the counter. Let's count backwards from 9, 0, 3, 5, 7, 6, 8, 3, 1, and 6. Okay, excellent. I think that is probably enough work for a normal day, but today's not a normal day. Today's the day that I really want to work your shoulder mobility and shoulder and arm strength. So we're going to do one more exercise. I'd like for you to utilize this band again. I'm just going to push the chair out of my way. I hope it's a longer band. If you have a really short band, just you do the same exercise one arm at a time. I'm going to show you the 2 arms at the same time because I have a longer band and it's more efficient for time. We're going to step onto that band with one foot. It could be your right foot or your left foot. It doesn't matter. What I want you to do is keep your elbows tucked into your sides, so touching my sides. I want you to flex the elbow, so that means I'm bringing my hands close to my shoulders, and at all times when my shoulders are back and down, I'm going to now push my hands away from my chest, as far away as I can. There's a lot of tension here. You should squeeze your bum when you do this because this band is now trying to pull you forwards, right? So squeeze your bum so your low back is supported. Don't worry, we won't be holding this position for long. You're just going to extend the arms as far as you can. Some of you might be able to do this. Some of you might be able to go all of the way. Draw back in and then drop the hands down. So here's how it goes. Hands up, hands out, hands in, hands down. Or you could think of it this way. Elbow bends, elbow extends, elbow bends, elbow extends. We've done that twice, so we'll do 8 more. 8. No need to count a multiple for this one. 7. 6. This one is great for your chest, your shoulders, your biceps. I believe this is 5. Your glutes, your core strength. 4. 3. Many benefits associated with this one. 2 and 1. Excellent. Okay, we are officially done with this band, at least for today's workout. I'd like for you to just have a seat in your chair. So I did tell you that you wouldn't need the stick again. Well, I guess I lied. You will need the stick one more time. So this is for a stretch for your rotator cuff muscles. And it can look weird on camera, and it can be difficult to learn in person too, so I'm going to try and walk a little closer to the camera afterwards to show you exactly how this works. I'm going to grab my stick so that the thumb points down, yeah? Almost as though I was reaching for an arrow in the quiver on my back, yeah? Reaching back to grab something, yeah? That's the starting point. And ideally, you're going to have the long end of that stick below your arm, below your biceps, and the short end of the stick just above the hand. Now I'm going to open my arm up. My elbow doesn't have to be very high. I know a lot of you won't be able to bring your arm up that high. I'm going to keep the elbow below the line of the shoulder. I'm going to pull my shoulder back and down. That's important. We cannot allow our shoulder to raise during the stretch because you simply will not get a good stretch. And then I want you to make sure that this stick, I'm going to come closer here, is bisecting the biceps. It's halfway between my elbow and my shoulder. Does that make sense? So thumb down, thumb's on the bottom. The stick is halfway between elbow and shoulder. And it's on the back side of my arm. All right? If you want an easy setup, just externally rotate your arm, put it between forefinger and thumb, and then open up your elbow. That's the starting point. Now I want you to reach across and grab the stick on the underside, below the arm. And all you have to do here, I'm going to get closer again, is pull the underside of the stick forward. So what's happening is it's forcing our arm to externally rotate. And assuming you're keeping your shoulder pulled down, this is a wonderful stretch for some of your rotator cuff muscles. It's great for your shoulder mobility and shoulder health. So we're going to pull it back on the right side, and we're going to take 5 deep breaths in and out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can let go. Oh boy. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So externally or outwardly rotate your arm. Grab the stick between your index finger and your thumb. Reach across and grab the bottom portion of that stick. Make sure the stick is not behind the shoulder, but it's in between the shoulder and the elbow. That's an important distinction to make. And then simply pull the underside of the stick forwards. As long as the end effect is that your hand carries backwards, your whole forearm rotates externally. I'm going to hold that for 5 deep breaths, starting at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we are really officially done with the sticks for the day. If you can take your thumbs now, you can do this while you're sitting down, and turn them downwards, right? So that's the position of our hands. You can of course use fists or actually grip the sides of your hips, but as long as the thumbs are down, that's the important aspect of this. And all you have to do is pull the arms or elbows forwards. I'm stretching my elbows forwards. Yeah? Some of you might be able to go very far. Some of you might barely be able to move. The important point is that you're making the attempt to improve the range of motion in this position. The first exercise was to stretch a few of your rotator cuff muscles. The second stretch is to stretch the other ones. So we're getting all 4 of them. Let's pull those elbows forwards and close together, and we're going to hold that position for 5 deep breaths, starting at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's just wiggle those shoulders out. Do some nice circles backwards with the right shoulder. Do some nice circles backwards with the left shoulder. Do some nice circles backwards with both shoulders. Excellent. And you are done with those. We're going to do one more movement. This is for coordination. And then you're all done for today. Look forward for the next exercise, which is going to be all about lower body and legs. So if you could grab those 2 balls that I asked for you to have in the beginning. You'll definitely want 2 of them today. I'm going to hold 1 in each hand. Yeah? And I'm going to start by tossing them both up in the air at the same time. And I'm being really gentle and careful about how high up I throw them at first, because I'm just trying to get my bearings. I'm trying to understand what my range of motion is for throwing the ball. How high up can I throw it and yet still catch it? It's okay to drop it, just go pick it up. Making mistakes is part of getting better. We're going to count a multiple of 8 here. We're going to toss both at the same time as we move forward in the multiples. If you are getting more confident with your throws, then try and throw progressively higher and higher and higher up. And in this instance today, you can look at the balls with your eyes if you need to. This is not necessarily for peripheral sight alone. Let's start at 0. 8. Take a moment in between. 16. Don't rush these. 24. 32. 40. 48. 56. 64. 72. 80. Let's count backwards. Same thing. 80. 72. 64. 56. 44. 32. I made a mistake on that one. You know what that means? We've got to count backwards from 80 again. Counting 80. 72. 64. 56. There we go. 48. That's what I did. 40. 32. I hope you're paying attention here. 24. 16. 8. And 0. If you didn't catch that mistake that I made intentionally for you, you should feel horrible about yourself. So let's put those balls down and we'll do 1 or 2 stretches for our forearms and shoulders and arms and then call it a day. So if you could take your fingers, interlace them together and then push the arms as far forward as you can so that you are stretching out your fingers, your forearms. Now drop the shoulder down, both shoulders, it's better than one. Stretch the arms forward, stretch the shoulders forward, exaggerate the posture. And then take a deep breath in, pull the shoulders back and down again, draw those palms down, and then make a concentrated effort to push the shoulders down and push the arms down and hands down as far as possible. So we're accentuating that stretch. Good. Release those hands, wiggle the fingers, open and close the hands as fast as possible, really quickly, really quickly. Make the effort. And then reach behind your back with your right arm. Reach behind your back with your left arm. Pull the shoulders back and down. Look up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Release. Open and close the hands quickly. As quick as you can. Reach behind the back with the left arm. Reach behind the back with the right arm. Pull the shoulders back and down. Look up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And release. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day. And get on out there and get some more chores in.